There we are.
Record.
I
Are we
keep
on a time limit today or anything? You got a train to catch?
No, this is my day off, although we do have to go to Home Bazaar, which is a homing goods store, house goods store to get Christmas presents for the elderly aunts and stuff.
Nice.
We took some really cheesy family pictures, like the Japanese version, the Olin Mills thing, because one of my aunts was like, "Oh, I want a nice family picture," so we did that. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then we'll just put that in a box and send it with something else. Oh,
I feel like that's a lost art going to the store, getting your picture taken, like Walmarts and Kmart's and all those places used to go. Sears, like go get the family photo.
I
Like,
think for Japanese, it's still a pretty common occurrence. Like when we were in there, there's another like extended family. Like, I mean, it was just the three of us, but then across there was like a kind of an extended family doing the same thing. But it was,
yeah.
yeah, it was a kind of weird experience because the last time I had that kind of experience was probably, I don't know, when I was like 7 years old or something. I don't remember really
And
doing
then
it.
in Japan, I forget, is it Thanksgiving or Christmas where you guys eat the KFC?
Christmas. We don't do Thanksgiving
Chris.
here. But they're both
Okay.
work days. I worked on Thanksgiving. I'm going to work on Christmas. I have to do a Christmas party at work where I will dress up as Santa Claus and play Christmas songs, but I am working on Christmas.
Yeah.
New Year's is the big one here, so I get well, just to be annoying, my company's like, you get Sunday the 28th off. You're coming back on Monday the 29th, and then we get 6 days off after that. So it's like, why don't you just give us 8 days? I mean, why do we gotta come on that Monday? That sucks.
Yeah.
And we
What
don't
the?
usually work Mondays either.
Yeah. What
We're,
the
we're
hell?
we're usually Tuesday to Saturday, but we used to do it in the summer, and they're like, "Oh, you don't have to work Mondays for summer school anymore. Now it's in winter." I'm like, "Well, it's the same thing." Although I guess it is because I'll have one 6 day week, and I feel like a 6 day week's going to be nicer when it's like 0 degrees as opposed to like 30 degrees. Sorry, that's Celsius. When it's like 32 degrees as opposed to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
After I think that's about the right
Yes,
scale.
they converted you, Matt. You've been converted to Celsius now.
Actually, my
You,
computer does tell me, even though it's a Japanese computer, it tells me Fahrenheit. It says it's 35 here right now. Light rain and snow.
nice.
I don't see any snow. It was just, yeah, cold and wet this morning. Uh, let's get to a traveler, I guess. But yeah, I'm not on any
Nice.
particular time constraint
I want
except
my
that,
pie.
yeah, you want your
Give me
pie?
my pie, like Jack. Give me my
Yeah.
pie.
I had a different feeling on the pie though. I thought it was gonna, for some reason, I thought it was gonna be blueberry pie. Although pumpkin pie does make sense for the holidays. So, was it pumpkin
Eh,
pie when he finally gets his pie?
yeah, it kind of did look like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
in my mind every time he said I want my pie. That's not what I saw coming. So
No.
that was the big spoiler for me of the episode, I guess.
Jack in that pie, man.
Welcome to Time Enough Podcast. It's where we go through all of the episodes of The Twilight Zone and beyond. This is Matt here, coming back. First time here for the Peel run. It's Sean. How is it?
I want my pie.
You do want your pie. We had some pie discussion. Like, I don't know. I told you right before we started recording, or on Patreon if you heard it, that I just imagine a blueberry pie the entire time. And it's a pumpkin pie, but I think I'd rather have a pumpkin pie, which is very rare in Japan. I don't think I get pumpkin pies, and you get a sweet potato pie. Yeah, those are good. But yeah,
I
what's
want
your pie
apple.
choice?
Apple.
Apple's good. Okay, like
Yeah.
diner, like Twin Peaks style.
Hell yeah. Like
Yeah,
French apple. That's another good
yeah.
one.
You can.
With the cinnamon crust on it.
Right. Ooh, okay, that does sound good. I guess let them eat cake. That's what we usually do around here. So I'm often on birthdays, I'm sent off to the cake store to choose single slices of cake for everybody. So I can get a
Big
little
cake.
bit creative. Not a big cake, 6 slices.
What's your favorite cake?
Huh. If I want a cake right now, I probably want a strawberry shortcake.
Hmm. I like red velvet. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
People would probably be like, that's way too sweet, but
I
I like
liked
it.
them when I was a kid. Here's the thing, though. Sweets in Japan tend to be a little less sugary. I mean, every once in a while you'll come across a sugar bomb, but it is like everything's a little less sweet. Which
Mm.
so now, like when I went to the States a few months ago and had a few things, I was like, oh my God. I feel like I just been like, where someone brings like souvenirs back from America, and I'll eat like a maple, Canadian maple cookie. And I'm like, my God, why is there so much sugar in this? It's insane. So. I've done good at cutting sugar out of my diet. I've lost some weight from that, so yay.
Yeah.
It also helped with the price of chocolate in Japan has like doubled in the past year. So
Oh,
don't eat so many potato chips. Pie though, I want a slice of pie for sure. A traveler, not well, a traveler does not want a piece of pie. He doesn't care.
a,
That's
a
Jack that wants
traveler.
to buy. A traveler. A traveler.
What does the
There,
A stand for?
Anthony Traveler. Um, Alcobod. I guess it could be something like that too, you know. Big
Artemis.
Artemis. Now, I was looking for a completely alien sounding name. So, yeah, let's just dive right into the Traveler. Well, actually, before we just dive into it, what's your history with the Peel Zone? For me, I watched about three or four of them right when I was starting this podcast, and then was like, oh, I should probably wait to, actually do the rest of them. So, this was a first timer for me, I think. So, back
This
5 years ago when I saw the plot description of this one, I was like, eh, and then moved to the next one, I think. But yeah, so first time view for me.
yeah, this was a first time view for me too. And I've always been one of those guys that's like, it's Jordan Peele, Twilight Zone. It's not Rod Serling. Like, bleh. Like I had that whole like disdain, like like you've probably seen it online. Like there's an unexplainable hatred for Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And after this episode, which I really liked, I don't get it. Like maybe there's some weaker episodes. There was two seasons, but I'm after this episode, I'm actually invested to see more.
Okay,
Like I want,
well, just to make you feel more hopeful. Didn't hate watching this, but of the four that I've done so far, this is my least favorite, probably. So,
oh, I saw
so
on IMDb got a 5.8, but I was like, God, really? That bad?
for TV, that's pretty raw too, because TV tends to skew upwards in the ratings. Like if you
Yeah.
look up, something like, I don't know, Yellowstone, it's all like
I know like
9.1, 8.7. I've
there's
never
probably
seen
like only
Yellowstone.
two or three episodes in the original Twilight Zone that are in the fives. Like,
Yeah, that's also a problem with just streaming TV. Like these seasons are 10 episodes, so if two or three of them suck, it's like, oh, this season's pretty bad, right? Whereas in the original Twilight Zone, first season was what, 36 episodes, or maybe the second, but 36 episodes. It's like, well, 10 of those can suck, and then 10 could be okay, and then you have 15 great ones. People remember that as a great season, you know?
yeah. And then
So
one thing I saw when I was looking up the episodes, like there's some episodes that are 30 minutes, 40 minutes. This one was 50 minutes. Like they're kind of bouncing all over the place with time, with
they're doing
timestamps.
that, and we'll talk about this one as well. But so far, we've kind of gotten back to those season four discussions of like, would this be better at 25 minutes? And
Mhm.
generally, the answer has been yes. Uh, just as I'm recording, I have not actually done the podcast replay yet, and I might not say it for that episode. Although, you know what, I could see where you could trim at least 5 minutes off of that if you wanted to, and it would still be pretty effective. But it's kind of like the
Yeah.
rule of limitations. If you have to do your story in 25 minutes, and for the Twilight Zone, I think that really does kind of help.
And like I do understand a little bit why it's bouncing around with certain time limits because you get away with that with streaming services. Like you don't have a hard cutoff. Like you can have any like you can have as long as episode as you want, you can have a short episode as you want. Like you
Right.
guys saw that when you were going through Severance, you know?
Yeah, right. That's the whole thing with, the modern thing. Like how TV works now, it's like, why would you make more than 6 or 10 episodes? Like in the past, you have to make 26 because you have advertisers that want to be on every week and you want to have new stuff as much as possible. On streaming, you're just trying to attract people, carrot and stick people so they kind of subscribe. It's almost like public television, except it's not nonprofit, right?
What
It's
I
for
will say
profit.
would bug me watching this episode is you could tell it was made for streaming, especially with like ads, because it would go to like it would dark out at certain points. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it would fade to black at certain points. And you're
that
like, oh, that's
yeah.
where they probably put an ad break.
Yeah, of course I didn't get the ad breaks, but that doesn't bother me too
No,
much,
I didn't get
probably
the ad
because
breaks
I'm
either. But
yeah.
you could tell when they do that fade to black, you're like, that's probably where they're putting an ad break,
I mean,
you know?
honestly, what's happening in my case is probably like I'm making my own ad break and pausing and writing a note at that point, So I think I'm like subconsciously doing it, but not
Yeah.
noticing it as much. But I grew up watching normal TV. I'm used to the fade to black. Why I was
Yeah.
watching old Simpsons on
Oh
TV
yeah, like when you
nights
watch
ago,
stuff
and
on TV, yeah, like you were saying.
Right. Let me do a little trivia for this one. Original air date was April 18th, 2019. Glenn Morgan wrote the teleplay. He is also an executive producer on this very series, and he previously wrote a bunch of The X-Files with James Wong as a writing partner. Anna Lily Amirpour directed. She had previously helmed the first Iranian vampire western, A Girl Walks Home at Night. It did say she was American, so I was like, at first, is that Iran? Well, they probably wouldn't let you make a vampire film in Iran. I don't know. Um, I don't, I've seen some very good Iranian films in the past, but they
You
do not
know,
have vampires.
it's crazy this came out in April because it was a Christmas themed episode.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
well, now I'm doing Inside Baseball, but did have the thought like, should I release this episode first just so it comes out before Christmas? I don't know. I might do that. I might, because otherwise it'll come out right after Christmas. So, well, when you're listening, listeners, you'll know what my decision was. So we'll see
Yeah.
what if the timeliness thing or my OCD prevails, you know? Stephen Ewan was a traveler. See, living in Japan, I flatten all my vowels now. I try not to go for a. I'm like, traveler. My aunt, you know? Anyway, Stephen Ewan, a traveler. He had appeared as Glenn Rhee on The Walking Dead and got an Oscar nom for Best Actor from his work in 2020's Minari. He's also done plenty of voice acting work, which kind of makes sense after you've seen this episode. Willis Voltron, legendary defender, and Stretch Armstrong in the Flex. Let's try that again. Stretch Armstrong in the Flex Fighters, just for funsies. Yuko
I
is
will say, yeah, you left out one little one.
throw it in there.
I think he won an award for this show, Beef. It was a Netflix series. It was a 10 episode Netflix series called Beef. He was
I,
really good in that show.
okay, there we go. I did see that. I mean, the things I'm listing is like, did I watch Minari or Voltron or Stretch Armstrong? I didn't. So it's like, what names pop out to me? Beef did not pop out. I did see it now that you're saying
I
it though.
highly recommend, like, I mean, I know Mark recommends like 10,000 things for you, but if I can recommend one thing to you,
Okay, where's the beef? Got it. And now
yeah.
if I do that search, I'll find something very different for people old enough to remember. Yuko is played by Marika Silla. She is a Canadian Inuvialuq, I hope I said that right, actress, and also appeared in Canadian productions like Ditched in the TV series Tribal. Jack Jack Mongayak was played by Patrick Gallagher. He was Attila the Hun in the Night at the Museum series, and also appeared as Coach Ken Tanaka in the first season of Glee. Of
Hmm.
course, Greg Kinnear was Captain Lane Pendleton. His credits go on all day, As Good as It Gets, Talk Soup, Little Miss Sunshine. We could go on. Feel free to add one if you got some Kinnear on the mind.
I mean, Stuck on You. I don't know why. I kind of like that movie. Remember
Sure.
him and Matt Damon when they're in the conjoined twins? Have you ever seen that?
Oh, geez, I think I have now.
That came out
Because
like 20 years ago.
yeah, when you
Yeah,
first said it, I was like, no, I don't think so. Now that you've brought, is that Farrelly Brothers?
I think so. I think it
Okay.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I did see it, and I don't remember it at all now. But yeah,
Yeah, and it
okay.
had like I think it had Ava Men. Was it Ava Men? No, I don't know. Some Latin actress I'm blanking on right now that was famous back then.
Well, Sean, if I could ask you to do your peel, and I don't, well, you could just
Oh my
read
God,
the.
what like
There.
okay,
That's been a
should I sit
conundrum
in
for
my
the first.
chair?
Yeah, that's been a conundrum for the first couple episodes. Like, well, peel's
Hang
not
on,
really a distinct
have
one to
you had
do.
Andrew as a guest yet?
Yeah, he couldn't. He was like, I can't dry my teeth anymore until night gallery.
All right, let me see. I thought I had it here. Oh yeah, yeah, here it is. Okay. I have trouble with her last name, so how do you say it again? Yuka.
Yuka Mongayak, and that's me guessing. If you noticed, I did not put the last name when I did her part of the trivia. It's like Yuka. I could
I
do
want to say
Yuka. That's a
Yuka.
Japanese name as well.
No, yeah, I want to say Yuka Sakazaki. That was a Japanese wrestler.
There we go.
I want to say that. Okay. Meet Sergeant Yuka. I already forgot about it. Okay, Yuka Mangoyaka? Mangoyak. A woman with a knack for detecting the most subtle of mistruths. Or this night. a night of most powerful myths. That skill will be tested like never before. She's about to learn that the truth can take many different forms, depending on how you look at it. Because tonight, Sergeant Yuka's vantage point is at the very heart of the Twilight Zone.
All right, thank you. We've already done our pie talk, so I guess that's good. Well, to
Oh,
start
we're
off,
gonna get more to pie talk later. When we get to the questions, we're gonna bring up more pie
okay,
talk.
we can talk some more pie at that time. That's fine with me. Um, uh, did this episode have you guessing? I was guessing for a while. I
I
didn't call it right out because when I said I read that plot description, that was like 5 years ago. So I came in having no clue what this episode was going to be about.
I mean, spoiler alert, I didn't think he was an alien. Like I didn't think it was that.
Which does
Like
after watching, I'm like, was that a remake of Will the? I mean, not that I'm saying it's the same thing, but I was like, Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? It's kind of a
oh,
similar vibe.
I had three familiarity episodes. Like I had three episodes that kept me in mind with this. The Monsters Do on Maple Street, The Shelter, and the one you just named. Sorry, I'm blanking. The
Hit
one
hit
you
that
just
hit
named.
that 15 back people you're here because Will the Real Martian Please Stand
Yes, Will
Up?
the Real Motion Please.
I actually
Like,
blanked out on the title right after saying it.
no, I got the vibes because like you get that vibe of them trying to turn people against each other, the alien race, and the taking over, like in Monsters Do on Maple Street.
Yeah,
And then the shelter, you get that from the people turning on one another. And then why do will the real Martian please stand up? You get the alien invasion from that.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a diner, but it was a police station party, so it kind of had a diner vibe, you know. And maybe that's why that one came to mind. And also, when he took off his hat, I think any Twilight Zone, any that scene
Yeah.
fan that has seen that is like, oh, he's gonna have some antenna pop up or have a third eye, right? Which,
Well, you remember when
yeah,
he saw when Greg Kinnear what's the sergeant's name? Sergeant
you can just
Pendleton
call him Crank Denier if you want.
or Captain Pendleton. Yeah. Yeah, I want to call him by his character name, okay?
I feel like when you
But
put in an actor that famous in an episode like this and you're talking about, you're just going to say the actor's name because I don't need to
yeah, I
remember.
know. I
I
know.
do not need to know the name Captain Lance Pendleton after like this recording, you know?
But yeah, when he was like when he saw him with his antennas out, he's like, "What the fuck?" And then when Steve Ewan's like, "What the fuck?" Like when he mocked him, saying that, like, "What do you mean, what the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah. Maybe this is the point where I just quit clicking the clean thing because now that the show has F bombs, I guess the podcast can have F bombs.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is. If anyone's wondering, that is over years. People are listening, and do I really need to edit all of these? And so maybe you just heard all of this. Maybe I just crossed that line. I've crossed the line now that we're in the modern society has corrupted me, and now we're dropping F bombs.
Oh, oh, I totally forgot. I dropped an F-bomb. We're supposed to be a clean podcast.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now that the show's not, I feel like it doesn't matter. So maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, people. I apologize.
Oh no, it was already on my mind. Like, do I really need to censor these anymore? And now that the show's not, I'm like, I guess I don't. You know.
Yeah.
So if anyone's offended, send a note, and maybe I'll read it. uh,
Matt will ban me for all future guest appearances.
yeah. Well, at least I'll ban your F bombs. I'll start censoring them again. Um, Um, yeah, this is Christmas. Watching it though, it's like it doesn't have to be Christmas. It's like kind of those Die Hard things where, well, I guess he has to pardon someone on Christmas, but it could be April Fool's Day as well. So
Yeah, it could be. So when they're getting to that whole partying thing and they find Steve Ewan in the jail cell, a traveler. I was wondering, okay, because they originally going to pardon her brother Jack, who I guess she arrested just so she can feed him Christmas dinner and pardon him. Like,
yeah, it was kind of a ceremony. It seemed like a ceremonial arresting, you know?
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna be this in a
Like
warm
there's so
cell
little
in a
crime in
mirror.
this town. It's like just he's your brother. He'll be a little annoyed, but it's fine. He's
Yeah, like
already
they were even
drunk.
joking, like, I'm sure your brother will be back next year.
Yeah. Right. They just, like I guess that means like Captain Lance Pendleton. Now I do have the name seared in.
Lane Pendleton.
Oh, I don't have it seared in. Okay. Greg Kinnear, Sergeant Greg Kinnear. I don't know why I threw Sergeant on him, but I guess he is, doing his job while he's taking kickbacks from the Air Force, is it?
Yeah,
Or the Russians? The
the
Russian Air
power grid
Force.
and everybody's stealing power from each other. But so when they're going to do that like annual pardon that he talks about, the captain talks about, he goes back there and he originally were going to get the brother pardoned. He's passed out. And I'm trying to think,
You can
did
pardon passed
Steve
out
Ewan,
people.
a traveler, make him pass out so that way he couldn't get pardoned? Like, do you think
I,
he like did some kind of magical like you go to sleep now?
I think, well, he was just trying to turn everyone against each other. I think that was just a lucky break because Jack looked like a man who was going to pass out anyway, you know?
I know, but he really wanted that pie. You thought that pie would have kept him
Yeah,
awake.
but he drunkenly wanted that pie. It's like if I'm hammered, hammered, I might be like, I really want that pie. You know, I mean that happens.
Did you notice the Easter eggs in this episode? There was about three.
Uh, I've been watching them two back to back. I can remember. Sorry, I'm thinking of a replay one. Hit me with the ones here. I've been watching these
So
two
you got on the
fast
Christmas
and.
wrapping paper, you got Caesar and me slash the dummy.
Oh,
You
did
got the
not
dummy on
notice.
there.
Okay.
And then at one part later on, you got a shot of the Gremlin from Nightmare at 30,000 feet and Talkie Tina.
Oh, I did not notice. The Gremlin showed up in Nightmare at 30,000 feet, as a doll, and
And
then
then
re
I have to ask you the
replay had a
question.
Nick of Time Devil flash. I did notice those, but this episode, I guess I just wasn't maybe just didn't have my eyes open enough for those.
Oh no, and like, yeah, you must have been watching it late because like I was like, oh my God, when I spotted those, especially the dummy, I was like, oh my God, I know what that is. Like,
But that's the thing. I'm often sitting there writing notes while I'm doing it, so I might have just like
yeah.
happen to
Well,
look
I
away.
always do these when I watch something, I do two viewings. The first watch is just a straight watch through, and the second
Mm.
watch is when I take notes.
Yeah, yeah, that is sometimes that happens. The past all of the past three had a few viewings, but again, schedule wise, we had to bump this one up, and it only got one view. Sorry,
Yeah.
just got the one view.
Hey, it worked
So
out.
yeah, worked
I
out
mean,
okay.
by the time you upload these episodes, it could be end up being in order in anyways, and nobody knows the difference.
That's right. That's right. You just go back in time and see what's there.
But
Um,
I had a question to ask you. Does the code 1015 or the number 1015 mean anything to you? Because when I was looking up notes on this episode, it says this popped up again. Like, and I wonder what they mean by again.
there's police codes and things. When I was in university, I drove buses. I worked for the university bus service, and we had codes like that, like what's your 1040, or often we just like take it down to what's your 40, just mean where are you? So.
Well, no, I know that, but specifically, I guess when they punched in the code to the get in the jail cells, it was 1015. And when I looked online, they made it seem like there's been other 1015 references. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh, you mean on the show? Two
Yeah.
episodes ago, there was a reference to 1015. I think it was 1015. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that is like Star Trek has 47, where they're just like jam 47 to as much stuff as possible. So maybe for this show, we're going to be doing a lot of 1015. So, hey, and hey, I didn't catch that again. So if you caught that, now I am going to have my eyes and ears open
I
for
mean, no,
1015.
I didn't catch it as he was punching in the code, but I caught it when I was looking up the Wikipedia or the whatever notes I was looking up.
Okay, you
So,
might actually be onto something with that, to be honest. Um, so this episode runs about 51 minutes. I mean, with credits, but the credits aren't that long.
yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be 51 minutes. We are asking those season four questions again for these
I mean, you get a lot
Halo
of
episodes.
smugness from Steve Ewan that could probably be cut out, like a lot of like him just staring at the camera, like being like, "Oh, what the hell are you gonna do?" Like, you
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean? He acts so cocky in this episode.
I although
Like, I
after
wanted,
it's like, of course he's a voice actor. After I finished, I was like, yeah, this guy obviously has a, he's kind of doing the a lot of the neural linguistic programming stuff, NLP. Like he's doing a lot
Yeah.
of that to get people to kind of get edgy. Like he's edgelording as hard as he can, is one of my
No,
notes.
I'm a fan of his. That's the reason why I chose this episode. And you gave me a choice of like a 4 or 5. I was like, well, I like Greg Kinnear. I like Steve Ewan. So I'm like, this is easy for me. I'm gonna go with, well, I will say originally I wanted the Adam Scott episode, but I know that's probably a John Champion episode, right? That's the
That's not. That's the next episode.
okay.
If you're wondering.
But isn't John Champion the pilot?
Oh no, no, you're thinking of Mike Richards. He
I
was
always get
there.
those two mixed up. I always get
Okay.
John and Mike mixed up.
Okay. No,
But
no.
was Mike on the Adam Scott episode?
Yeah, and I had to apologize to him like at the very start. I'm like, I'm typecasting you with these airplane things. And then Mark was there too because of the Adam Scott of it all, because we had just done the Severance
Oh yeah, because
podcast. So
Severance.
we made
Yeah,
it a three-person hoot nanny or whatever. Um
yeah.
this episode though, like I'm putting on my writer's hat, or my editor's hat I should say, watching these, and what you just mentioned, we could take, as good as he is, and I don't know him that well, like as an actor, so I haven't really seen The Walking Dead or anything. So he's pretty new to me, and I was like, oh, this guy's good. But yeah, you could take a bit of the smugness out. Also, I think you could just completely cut out the secret shack subplot line. That could just like be cut right out, and you'll get like 7 minutes out of the episode right there.
Well, I mean, I feel like you did need it for the Shack because that's what the ending came to.
Yeah, but you could
Because
just
they
have
needed
something.
like didn't even Steve Ewan say like they needed him to lead him to the Shack to show him where it was.
Right, right. But I'm like, you could just take that out completely. It's just like the aliens are
Yeah.
coming.
You know what I didn't notice the first the first viewing that I noticed the second
What's
was
that?
when she the very beginning of the episode, like the first 10 minutes when she was taking Jack into jail. And he's like, "Oh, that's not a Northern Light. That's got to be something else." I
Yeah, I
didn't
did
notice that.
catch that the first time. I
That
was
had to
like,
be a spaceship or something. Yeah.
I was thinking it could have been like, I mean, as we get into the
I
middle, we start
wasn't
bringing up
thinking that at the
military
time, but then
stuff.
the second time when I saw it, yeah, that's so yeah, I didn't notice it the second time.
I mean, the first thing you ask when you see a UFO, or there's an updated term that you're supposed UP. I don't remember. There's a new term for them, but when you see those things in the sky that you don't know what they are, even if it is doing weird stuff, the first thought is like, is that military? Or is that
Yeah.
interdimensional, man? Maybe the aliens just come from a sideways dimension, right? So
Yeah.
can't just assume they came from deep space. That's actually the least plausible explanation, that they came from deep space.
And then I felt like another thing that would have ruined this episode is if Yuka didn't go if she didn't go against the grain with everything. Like obviously if she would have just gone along to get along, like Greg Kinnear did and everybody else, that would have made this episode less interesting. But they're like, no, we got to have one person that's got to like be like, no, this is all BS. This guy is not the truth.
I think that's necessary because that's what the
Yeah,
audience is thinking the whole time too. So Yuka is basically the audience surrogate because, as you said, Yuan's a traveler is way too smug. Captain Greg Kinnear has like too much seediness, right? Like
yeah,
that's the thing with all the Shack stuff, would just be like he's, laundering funds or something. It doesn't have to be like 10 minutes spent on the Shack stuff.
no. And
But that is, I
then
guess that's the thing watching the show so far. It is Nightmare at 30,000 feet. I don't really think we had the thought, but so far every other episode, even a replay, I haven't had the conversation yet. I don't think I'd cut much from that, but I feel like there's a little bit you could if you wanted to trim it a bit. So, um, comedian, I was like, man, this as a 25-minute, this would be like really good, and it's pretty good as a 50. That, I guess that's the thing that sucks. It's like it's pretty good at 50 minutes. I think they'd really kick it at like proper Twilight Zone length.
so I would say since a typical show nowadays is without commercials is what like 22 to 24 minutes.
If it's
Um
for network TV, which kind of still
yeah, but
exists, they still make those shows, right?
that's what
So
I meant to say like a typical like I'm saying like a typical half an hour show if you minus the commercials.
yeah, from
That's
the
what it.
'60s to modern
So
times, yeah, they found a way to squeeze in a few more commercials usually, and
so
then syndication.
I would say this probably would have been fit good as like a half an hour episode maybe.
I think I'd
With
agree.
yeah, like yeah, half an hour episode, 30 minutes.
But I think we all get more and more in the mindset now. And I probably do it when I'm looking. Like if I'm looking through streaming stuff, I'm like, oh, this one's longer. It's meatier, right? Although I'm
Hmm.
looking at YouTube vids, I'm usually like, oh, an hour, that's too much. And, for me, like 10 to 15 minutes is a sweet spot. Because if I want to hear about some, weird, if I want to hear about a town like this one, right? And I see a 5 minute video, I'm like, that's too little. I won't learn anything from it. If it's an hour, it's like, I'm going to be scrubbing through this. I can't watch all this. If it's 15 minutes, I'm probably in.
Yeah.
So it is interesting what appeals to us. But yeah, I'm going to watch a TV drama. It feels like a 45-minute commitment, like to me. So if I
Mhm.
look at a Twilight Zone and it's shorter, if I'm a big Twilight Zone fan, I'll be like, yeah, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, sweet spot. But if I'm not, I might be like, why is this show so short? I can't take it as seriously as I can these, 50-minute dramas.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Um, how did you feel when the aliens showed up? I thought the special effects were extremely close encounters looking, but for me that's fine. I like
I've
close
never
encounters.
seen Close Encounters, but I got Men in Black vibes.
I guess okay, I can see that too. One I do recommend Close Encounters, and I also recommend finding the theatrical cut for that one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. George Lucas is notorious for changing his movies and leaving them that way. Spielberg is notorious for changing his movies and then regretting it a few years later. Like the ET thing, like when the first DVD release came out, I think the guns were all digitally changed to walkie-talkies, and 2 years later, it's like that was stupid. Sorry, folks. And every release since it's gone back to the guns
Mhm.
because it doesn't make sense that a bunch of cops would be standing around with walkie-talkies. And it looks dumb. So yeah,
Yeah.
Spielberg has regretted his changes to movies. So yeah, go OG Close Encounters. But of course, Close Encounters are the uh well, we assume beneficent aliens. I guess it's not proven by the end of the movie, but yeah, these, I guess they just want to be your new overlords. Is that's what's going on here? Your new insect overlords?
I mean, it doesn't sound like I didn't want to jump to the end this early, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do too much of harm to people. Like, because, I mean, dude at the end is sitting there eating pie with Jack as an
Let,
alien.
yeah, because let's just spit out a number and say the alien force is 1,000 aliens. Maybe it's
Mhm.
bigger, maybe it's smaller, but I imagine it's just like, oh, we have to yoke these people, but we don't, we're not here to Independence Day exterminate everyone.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be like the Canaanites or whatever, where they're like, we're going to fatten you up and eat you.
Well, they're
I don't think
only
it's going to be like that.
I mean, let's with the Canaanites though, they're mostly beneficial, right? They've given humanity all this technology and shit, and they're like, we're gonna call 2% of you here and there and eat you. Like they make it seem like they're gonna get off, go to Canada, and it's a great space adventure, and it's really elite if you get on the flight. But yeah, that's so most people are not getting eaten and um to serve man. Speaking of which, apparently the last episode of this series is going to be related to that episode. So
Hmm.
another Canamite story. Am I getting the name right? It's not really in my everyday working vocabulary. The imagery does pop through my head a lot, but the actual name of the aliens does not. These ones don't get names other than a traveler, do they?
Yeah, just a traveler. And they're from the North Pole, I guess.
Which is funny because I just watched Ernest Saves Christmas, where Santa Claus pulls out his ID and it says he's from Prussia. Because I guess the original guy that Santa Claus is from Prussia or whatever. But yeah, it's just funny. This guy's from the North Pole, but Santa Claus is from Prussia. That doesn't make any sense. So just
Speaking of
weird
Ernest,
synchronistic viewing.
I don't know when it's coming out, but he's supposed to have some kind of movie coming out to streaming services or a film festival where
Like a documentary.
it's all about the Ernest character, yeah. How he
Okay.
went from commercials to the character and all
Yeah,
the humanitarian work he did.
yeah, because the actual kind of creative. Well, one, Jim Varney was a amazing actor, and that's so he is a
Yeah.
major creative force behind Ernest, obviously. But sort of the creator slash driver was a guy
And
named
they'll
John Cherry, who is he still alive? No, he died in 2022. So the brain trust behind Ernest. Let me say that again. The brain trust behind Ernest is has passed on, unfortunately.
and then I think they said something too, like he tried to become like he was study and become some like Shakespearean actor,
No,
like
he
some type of
was a
stage actor?
classically Jim Varney was a classically trained actor, and even in the Ernest movies, he does like five roles, and you forget that because he's so different in each of the roles. When I was
Yeah,
a kid, I was like, "Why is he barely in the movie?" And I was like, "Because he's playing four other roles in different scenes. That's why, you know." Which when I was like 8 years old, that didn't like compute, you know.
yeah.
It's like sometimes kids don't get it. At my work, I have videos. We have videos of kids songs, and I'm rarely in the videos because I don't work at the main school much. So the kids are always like, "Why aren't you in the video?" I'm like, "But everything you're hearing is me. I'm playing all the instruments and I'm singing a lot of this. You're hearing me, but they don't get that because I'm not on the screen."
I know you got your K-pop videos.
I don't got much K-pop videos. I
No,
mean, you
I'm
like
kidding.
K-pop, that's fine, but I am completely unknowledgeable about the world of K-pop. I know a little bit more about J-pop, not that much, because I don't really like listening to pop music.
Mm.
And then my wife usually listens to like American or British pop music, so yeah, she sees it studying English. Uh, Taking a look. Oh, the jail itself was pretty weird. Why does this town have such an extensive jail? You know, they get the long tunnel. They even call out the long tunnel, and it
Yeah, it's
goes
like
to
they're
like
walking
it's
the
like
Green Mile or something.
it's
Like,
like
what is
there's
this?
it's like there's eight cells in, or at least six cells in there, because it seems like Jake Jack. I keep forgetting what his name is, but
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah.
Like it seems there's a cell between him and the traveler cell, and
Yeah,
then they
notice
repeat
there's
on the other
nobody else that
side.
got arrested that day. There's
Right.
nobody else in there
I
besides
think
those two.
I think they rarely arrest people. I mean, again, they had to go arrest the deputy's sister just so they'd have someone to pardon, right?
Yeah, the deputy sisters that we just called them. You mean the brother?
Yes, that's what I meant to say. She's a sister. Okay. Oh yeah,
But
we do have Mayor Matheson. Just need to call that out because we had Pilot Beaumont a few episodes ago, so they are tossing the names in for funsies.
see, the part that reminded me of the shelter in Monsters That Do on Maple Street is when Steve Ewan started spilling the beans on everybody's little secrets.
Yeah, I called him a
And
narc.
you had the yeah, that was a narc. And you had him the one guy or the two women choking each other, and then the guy is like getting all huffy, the mayor, and it's funny.
Do you think it was just what he was saying, or were they too drunk, or does he, like you said, does he have a supernatural power to make Jack fall asleep in the cell, to make them like extra angry?
You- I don't know what powers he has, but I would have to ask you, does he control the grid? Because there seem to be times where they focus on him as the power is going on and off, like
I
he's
would,
controlling it.
I think the invading aliens at least are doing that, or have. Well, I don't know, but earlier before that, Captain Kinnear. Now I'm calling him Captain Kinnear. I mean, he says we've had these problems for a while, right? So it does make it kind of
Yeah,
sketchy, but yeah, he does the thing where he's kind of looking and then has a creepy look on his face, and then the power goes off and on again. So it's
yeah.
hard to say. What the thing that sold me on Jordan Peele doing the Twilight Zone was the turbulence sketch on Key and Peele, where Peele himself is kind of doing the same thing on this airplane. Um,
See,
although
I'm so uneducated when it comes to Key and Peele. Like I've only seen that one sketch where he tries to say bitch, like he's whispering bitch and trying to make sure his girlfriend doesn't hear it. He's trying
oh
to,
right, right.
he's like, I said bitch.
Yeah. Anyway, I do recommend a Key and Peele sketch called Turbulence. Although I do need to keep throwing in, I'm sure Jordan Peele had a fair amount of input, but he is nowhere. It doesn't seem he's anywhere near as involved with this as Rod Serling was with the original Twilight Zone. He doesn't
No,
write
because it's
most
not
of
like
these,
he
and
was writing
yeah,
his own. Yeah. No.
yeah, he had story, and that was Nightmare at 30,000 Feet, which is a very different story than the original, but it's still like kind of a remake, you know. So that's the one he has story and not teleplay, just story. So.
What I
Uh,
did really like is that eyeball in the intro. I
oh,
really
the
like
intro's
that
good.
CGI eyeball. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen the Forest Whitaker Twilight Zone like at all yet, but I like the '80s intro with the weird Grateful Dead version of the
Mm.
song. That's kind of fun. Um, weirdly, Phil Lesh, the bass player for the Grateful Dead, was like the biggest fan of the Twilight Zone, but there was some dispute going on, and he's the one member that's not on that recording for some reason. So kind of weird.
Man, you're
Uh,
gonna have fun when you get to the 2002 Twilight Zone because some of
okay.
the episodes they try to revisit. That's all I'll say.
I've heard the one with Bill Mummy is quite good, actually.
Oh yes, yes, no, it is. But
Yeah.
they try to remake like Eye of the Beholder and Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, and it just doesn't turn out very good.
Yeah, that's the one I have the most trepidation about. That's kind of why we're doing these in a weird order. So,
Mm. And
it's
we got well, don't act like it wasn't Mark's fault. Mark had a lot
oh,
to
it
do
is
with this
Mark's.
too.
I call it Mark's Vortex. So, yeah. Is the
Just
Twilight is should the Twilight Zone be too classy for F-bombs? That came up when Star Trek started airing with Discovery about the same time, and now it has F-bombs. Now Captain Picard can drop an F-bomb. Is this podcast too classy for F-bombs? Sorry, I'm fine with you dropping them, but I'm just like
yeah.
I feel like with Star Trek as it didn't bug me as it bugs me more in Twilight Zone. I wonder why that is.
I've seen that a common complaint to people too. It didn't bug me like I thought it was gonna bug me. Um,
It didn't bug me in the like I like
yeah.
this episode less or anything sort of way, but I was like, I feel like the Twilight Zone should be
I think
all
it'd be
that.
more weirder if like somebody went back and remade the 60s version, the 50s, 60 version, and like the inserted cuss words. That would be weird.
That would be extremely weird.
That would be
Uh,
really weird.
and there's always a thought like, could you just do this in black and white? Which probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, just the realities. Is there a modern TV show that's just in black and white? Because you can get away with doing a movie in black and white, and people, call it, or take, like Godzilla minus one or Fury Road, and they put out
Yeah.
the chromatic version, monochromatic versions, right?
Or like I was watching an interview with Gene Wilder, and it was his idea. He wanted Young Frankenstein to be black and white.
Yeah, but again, that's a movie, right? So
Yeah, that's
movies you can get away
yeah,
with it.
movies.
I
Yeah.
mean, the artist won Oscars, and that was trying to be a silent movie. So
You know what I don't get? So we got the Golden, well, you remember the Golden Globes here in America.
yeah, yeah, of course.
So they nominated one battle after another under comedy. It's
I haven't
comedy and
seen
something
it
else, but
yet.
I'm like, oh God, that's one of my favorite movie. That's my favorite movie of the whole entire year, I think.
I need to see it. Basically, it played in my theater near here for like 1 week. And when I was in the States for a week, Mark actually was like, "Hey, do you want to go see it in 70 millimeter?" And I'm like, with only like 6 days on the ground, I was like, I can't commit that time. Sorry, man. And yeah, I got
I just
relatives
saw
around.
and I saw Kill Bill re-released last week in theaters. One and two back to back.
Yeah, yeah,
That
I've
was
heard
pretty
people
fun.
are doing that. That sounds fun. But yeah, have not gone to the one battle after another yet, so I cannot tell you if I agree about it being a
I mean,
comedy
it's
or
so
not.
good. Like I'm even gonna buy it when it comes. Like I'm not a big movie buyer, but I'm gonna buy it physically when it comes out next month.
I do like PTA, but I just, like I saw Licorice Pizza, but I have not seen I still haven't seen Phantom Thread. Got it on Blu-ray, just haven't watched it,
I
so
think I'm a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. Anytime he has a big movie that comes out, I got to go out to the theaters to see it.
that's, kids sometimes when I'm teaching, they do ask like, what's your favorite actor? And I wouldn't actually say he's my favorite actor, but he's my answer. One, because kids know who he is. And two, I'm like, well, he works with directors I really like, so he tends to be in movies I really like.
Yeah,
So I guess that makes him my favorite actor. But yeah, but it's more like the choices he makes. It is weird. I definitely like I could rank directors, but I can't rank actors.
I'm so bad when it comes to ranking anything. Like
Mm.
I'm like, I think I take it way too serious. So I'm like, well, if I rank this guy too high, what about this guy?
Yeah, well, you just take one name and then you take another, and you decide if you like that person less or more, and just rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Like if somebody were to ask me my top Twilight Zone episodes, it would probably change every week.
Oh, of
Like,
course it would.
you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course it would.
yeah.
I think I could rank the first four that I've watched for this podcast so far pretty easily, but we'll wait for the end later to do that sort of thing. Uh,
So they're pretty cheap to buy on YouTube. That's the only way I have access to watch them right now. Would you say out of any of the first couple episodes that have aired so far, are those worth a $2, $3 purchase to buy?
um, I would, yeah. Like honestly, this is of the first four I've watched. This is actually the one I like the least. I really
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
acting in this
Yeah.
one, but it
Yeah.
it well, all of them have a few echoes of earlier Twilights, and that's not a problem here. I guess it's again, this one just really doesn't need to be 50 minutes. Is my main
Yeah.
assessment. Just boil that thing down and make like there, you know, it's the whole thing with Peter Jackson's King Kong, where it's like this is like a perfect 90-minute movie. Unfortunately, it's 3 hours plus.
Yeah. No,
And
and
Luke, who shows up on the show, and others, he would argue, no, you need 3.5 hours of a giant gorilla movie.
yeah, yeah.
You need
Well, that's
that.
like I go back to when you had Oppenheimer and you had what was that other one that came out that was big that year? Um,
Barbie, they had
no,
Barbenheimer.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, okay.
both those movies came out that year were a massive deal, but for some reason, Killers of the Flower Moon is longer, and I
Yeah,
was
because
like,
I think
it
that was
didn't
pushing
really need to
four
be
hours.
longer. Like, it didn't need to be that long.
Um, um, yeah, yeah. So there, I I think there's something to the original Twilight Zone format that was pretty special that maybe they should just bite the bullet and go for. Um,
Yeah.
I think the word on the street is Ben Stiller wants to do a Twilight Zone, but like movie where it'd just be like basically four 25-minute things stitched together like the
Yeah, I
original
know it's
movie.
so hard. Like people have been, I feel like this has been a rumor for a long time. Like it's between the Rod Serling biopic and the Twilight Zone movie. Like what's going to come out first? I keep hearing a lot of rumors on
We
both
will
of those.
see.
I want a Rod Serling biopic personally, but I don't know who I would get to play Rod Serling. I
Yeah,
really don't know.
you say biopic, I say biopic. Okay, interesting. Anyway, uh, we've mentioned Mark a few times, and he is pretty much against the biopic. I'm kind of on the fence. I think it can be done right. I think that you have to make the protagonist somewhat horrible for a good biopic, which I don't want to see Rod Serling be horrible. So I maybe I want to see the new Twilight Zone movie more.
Hmm. Yeah.
Tripping on cheese log. Sorry, I just had to write that's a
Oh yeah,
quote
like
that
what they said in the
Traveler says. I'm just staring at my notes for other things. He does have a nice head of hair when he takes his hat off, of
that
course.
that did get a laugh out of me when it literally said on his fake ID or whatever, a traveler,
Oh,
a
by the
traveler.
way, just to go along with what you said earlier, my note was there are some close encounter sort of ships, but two notes above that I did write this is kind of a low rent Men in Black. So I was
Mm.
picking up on that as well last night when I was doing this. And he gets his pie. Um,
It's like they were able to push it a little further than they were in the previous Twilight Zones because like they were able to have lights in the northern lights and stuff with the spaceships, and that was one thing, and that's why I have my background right now, the northern lights. It fits this episode.
yeah,
That's a pretty cool wonder of Alaska. I don't know about you, but I like the northern lights.
uh, two answers. First one, I actually did like the effects on this. I knew it was like, probably CGI on a TV budget, which TV budgets are pretty good these days, right? So, but
Yeah.
I actually was like, okay, those are cool effects at the end. So even though I just called it a low rent Men in Black, it still looked pretty good. Second, have you seen the Northern Lights in person?
Huh, no, I have not.
Okay, I haven't either. I was teaching in Maine like 20 years ago, and they said one night, like, if you drive 30 miles north, you can actually see them tonight. But I had classes that night, so I didn't do that. So,
My
um,
brother has been to Alaska, but I haven't been to Alaska.
the other funny thing is they call it Northern Lights, but in Japan they go with Aurora, which, if you know, Japanese people tend to have trouble with R's and L's. So why would they choose the one with two R's? Just go with Northern Lights. I had a student trying to say, I think she was asking me, "Have you ever seen the Aurora?" And it took like four tries for me to work out what she was trying to say because she had pronounced the word so bizarrely.
No, what I don't like is Brazil, how they have to pronounce the R's as H's. Like, I really don't like that.
Aurora. Okay, I can't roll
So
R's either.
instead of Raphael, it's like Hafiel.
Oh, that's kind of fun, I guess. Uh, yeah. I'm just I don't know if I can learn any of the Latin languages because I cannot roll my R's. So what's the point of speaking
We
Italian?
all had
I
to
know
take
I
some
know they
language
don't
in high
speak
school,
Italian in
though,
Brazil.
didn't
I'm
we?
just
But
I'm just trying to think of another romance language there.
hey, you can speak
Good.
French. That's the
Yeah.
language of love, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Weird thing I've always found about French is if you look at a page of French, you can usually work it out because the words on paper are can be quite close to English because we borrowed a bunch or they brought a bunch of words over, right? But
Yeah.
when you hear it, it's like I can't get a word of that in. So
The only real French I know, well, yeah,
is
I know a
dirty.
couple words, and then from that cartoon Dexter's Laboratory, omelette du fromage, cheese omelet.
Oh, okay, that's good. Well, there's a '70s song. There's Lady Marmalade, right? But I actually can't remember what that is, so I shouldn't say I learned that. Let's do some questions on this episode then. As I said, spoiler, sorry, they're still the same questions. You were wondering if I had something new and exciting. I guess I'm not that creative, sorry. But who in
Yeah,
this
Matt.
episode goes in or through the Twilight Zone?
Hmm. Man, my answer is going to be cheap, but I'm guessing it's Jack. I'm voting three people. That's why I'm saying it's like kind of be cheating. But Jack, the brother, uh, Captain Kinnear, as you're going to call him, and Yuka, since they all saw the alien in some type of form or doing something. I don't think Yuka saw the antenna or anything else, but he did the door opening trick. So I feel like they all went through the Twilight Zone experiencing what Steve Ewan was doing.
Okay, I actually have a slightly different answer. I was going to say everybody in that party except Jack, because it didn't phase Jack at all. He was too drunk, right? So he saw the antenna, but it's like as if he's that drunk, he's like, what is that? Okay,
Well,
and then
he
he
did
moves.
kind of have like a holy crap moment when he was like
Yeah, realistic.
maybe
It
it's good if you guys take over and his head
it
extended.
yeah. Okay, he just at the end, like you said, we're going to talk more about pie. And all he wants is his pie, and he gets his pie at the end. And so I'm like, did
Yeah.
maybe he blacked out through all of this? I
Well,
don't know.
we'll bring up my question, and that's my question right now. Does Jack deserve his pie?
Hell yeah, he just sit in the cell all night for ceremonial reasons. That man deserves his pie.
I mean, he talked about it enough, so yeah, I guess he deserved it. But and then another
Honestly,
thing that
he does. I'm slightly being contrarian there, but yeah, he has his holy crap moment. But yes, Jack is in the Twilight Zone, but or sees the Twilight Zone. He just it bounces off of him a little more than it does the others, I guess. What about the other party goers though? I'm definitely agreeing with you about the sheriff and Yuka, the captain and Yuka. But what about they're strangling each other and stuff? So
I mean, I'm just gonna chalk it up to they're all just wasted. They're
okay,
probably like, well, I would like
can
to know what their reaction was the next day, like after the aliens came. I
can
would
you
like to
get
know like a little update on them.
can you get drunk enough to miss the Twilight Zone? That's a good question. The next day, yeah, it's like, are the aliens just subtly controlling? Because I mean, a man suddenly appearing in your cell that you don't know, and then how this works. It's not too subtle, but
I
it's
mean,
a lot more subtle than
Art Carney got pretty plastered in Night of the Meek, and he was able to make his own Twilight Zone. So I guess you
yeah.
can't get too wasted.
Or what if 100,000 of these aliens show up? Does that mean every town has an alien liaison now, no matter
Well,
how
as
small?
long as we have Ice Cube, we'll be all right.
Yeah, and maybe that's the thing with this town, though. It had the defense thing they needed, so maybe not every
Yeah,
town, but this
that's
one.
one part I didn't even when I watched the second time, I don't get what the whole encampment in between the Air Force base and everything. I don't get what was the significance of that? Like, what does it mean if they take that over? Like, what do they gain from taking that over?
Um, I guess like an air shield sort of thing. One, I agree, it's vague. That's why at the earlier in this episode, I was kind of like they could probably just cut that part because it is vague and
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. And you could really, I mean, all you need is aliens are trying to take over, right? You don't really have to get into the that's
yeah.
techno babble, really, right? And it didn't make sense in the end.
I mean, if anything, they should have said we're going to take over the Air Force base, unless that's what they were alluding to, and I missed that.
It's a little vague. I concur, and
Yeah,
I think that's the thing. The strength of this episode is being confronted with this bizarre guy, and you have no clue what he is. The other stuff is a little overcooked, which
hmm.
maybe is why this of so far is the one I enjoyed the least. I mean, I can now tell you what 20 of the original series episodes that this is better than. So you know.
Oh yeah, like this is better than Horse Ford. This is better than Young Man's Fancy. Like.
I always like to throw out the Bard, of course, right? So this is better than the
I
Bard,
mean,
easily.
you know what? The Bard, you get that Burt Reynolds hamming it up
Oh,
for
that one scene is
yeah,
great,
yeah,
but you have
yeah.
like 45 other minutes in that episode, right?
Be honest, Matt. The reason you don't like the Bard is the whimsical music.
That's another part of it, yes. So far we don't have the whimsical music in this one, which is nice. I mean, I guess that's very much just like kind of a 60s thing
One thing I
anyway.
wanted to bring up with Jack too is so like earlier he didn't want out of his cell when they were talking about, oh, we're gonna pardon a second person. And he's like, what are you crazy? it's 30 below out there, and I haven't got my pumpkin pie, or I ain't got my pie yet. And then like not even 10 minutes later, he asks the traveler, can you open that cell door for me? Was it
He's
only to
blackout
get
drunk.
pie or
Yeah, he just wants the
like
pie. I
it's
think
only to get
I mean Jack is yeah, it's that's just how it rolls in this episode. His whims are whimsical. I am going to focus on your answer for the do they deserve their trip into the Twilight Zone? And we'll start with Jack. Yeah, he has to go through that for his pie. That's fine. He deserves to see Antenna while he's real drunk.
what if it's like the next scene is like Jack getting decapitated?
Oh,
We
that'd
don't
be a
see it.
bummer. Okay,
Like
he doesn't deserve that.
he's
But
like, you
again,
had your pie.
it seems like the aliens are not here to kill everyone. They're just here to take over.
No, and maybe he'll who knows, maybe they'll keep Jack because he's like, it won't be so bad when you guys are in charge.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of people are very complicit. I mean, that's the thing in this episode we didn't talk about much, but that is kind of the part of the thing here. It's like they're like, hey, if you just chill with us, everything will be cool. But then it's like, are you, Yuka obviously is like, no, I want to be in control of my own destiny. So
yeah.
does she deserve this trip into the Twilight Zone?
And then another thing that was making me think about like Maple Street is this going to be a start of many new things in different cities? Like, is the traveler going to go from city to city, or has he already done this somewhere and we don't know about it?
Or like I said, are there 50 travelers that are in different, strategic locations or
Yeah,
50,000,
there's 50 Steve Ewans.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
I assume they would all look the same if they all appear because they seem to transport in or whatever, right? So they could all look the same. Doesn't really matter. Airlines are taken over by tomorrow.
Mhm.
But does Yuka deserve her journey? She has I guess she is the worst. She might have eaten some pie, but she's not I doubt she's very happy at the end of this.
I mean, she didn't get no like love at all. She went from being miserable at the beginning to miserable in the middle, trying to prove this guy that he's really not who he says he is, and then miserable at the end by finding out, oh shit, here's an alien invasion.
So she started and ended miserable, I guess.
Yeah. And what did she really want for Christmas? We never got to find that out.
So
What
she's
she
just
really wanted
she's
for
a miserable
Christmas.
person.
Because even
Well,
Jack, even Jack was like, I don't know.
I guess that's where the acting is good though, because you end up she is like your audience surrogate. She's the one you kind of get behind, even if she is miserable the entire time.
Yeah.
So the acting job's charming enough it's later like, oh yeah, she was miserable the whole time, wasn't she? Huh.
Like I'm surprised when she had that shotgun and the alien lights came up. I'm surprised she was like, oh, son of a b. Like, and the one thing about her and guns, she sure knows how to point a gun, but man, she can't pull a trigger in this episode.
Just like a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Uh, the captain, maybe he deserved to get decapitated after eating his pie. I don't know.
Yeah, he did do some corrupt stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just small town. He's like the David Lynch sheriff, isn't he?
Mm.
Or just to bring up Twin Peaks again, he'd be the guy, doing, bad stuff in Twin Peaks or questionable stuff in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Not the Queen of, was it Queen of Hearts or whatever? No, not that bad. In Twin Peaks there were like different levels of corruption, right?
That's one thing I still need to get to is Twin Peaks. And
Yeah,
tell me,
and it,
do I even bother with the remake or just do the original?
oh, The Return. Ugh,
Yeah.
The Return is great. Except here's the thing for my Twin Peaks, the original Twin Peaks, it's not the original Twin Peaks at all. It's David Lynch making a 20-hour movie. That's The
Huh.
Return. And the eighth episode is one of my favorite pieces of media ever. Might be my favorite. Let's call that 45 or 50-minute episode a movie, and I'll just call that my favorite David Lynch movie. Episode
Yeah, I
8.
have heard you and
Twin
Mark
Peaks.
mention Twin Peaks quite often.
Yeah, yeah. But that I mean that comes this is a Twin Peaksy feeling situation here. Of course we only see the sheriff's office in this episode, but that's one of the main settings in any version of Twin Peaks, right? So
Yeah.
uh but yeah, I so yeah, Captain, bit of a scumbag, probably deserves worse from the Twilight Zone than he gets. Or not.
No, he might deserve worse, but who knows? Maybe Yuka shot him with the shotgun after the aliens came. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he should get at least some weird comeuppance. Like now his nose is on his forehead, make put a little more Will the Real Martian, a really bizarre reference to Will the Real Martian stand up. Um,
Yeah,
uh, so let's put this one on the tripometer.
man,
Um,
this is where I'm gonna have a hard time. This one.
yeah, I'm having a little trouble thinking of this one. Zero is not trippy. Five is very trippy. Um, you want me to go first? I usually don't, but I can because I got my number. I'm going 2.5 on this. Those ships at
Mm.
the end, obviously. Here's the thing, though. I feel like a boiled down version of this episode would rank like more like 3.5. Like the same footage we see here, just like editing it some. Like it gets a little too draggy here and there, and that takes away from the trippiness for me. Kind of like Apocalypse Now, where there's the redo. I don't like the redo that much because the original movie just has a weird surrealistic feel that the longer version doesn't. So
Mm.
I feel like you could, if this is the redo, even though it's the original, and if you cut it down, you would get a much trippier episode.
I guess I'll go with a two.
Oh, lower than me. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, the only reason I'm giving it any real points though is because the alien invasion. I mean,
No, that's where it
that's
got
gotta
my
attribute to
points.
something.
Yeah. And then a traveler's basic demeanor is pretty trippy, but then that's where the edit helps. Like you mentioned, there's too much smugness focus, right? So if we cut down
Mhm.
on that, he'd actually be trippier.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be smug, he'd be trippy. So yep, this one is the second one I definitely wanted. So the comedian, this one I think an editor's knife would actually improve the episodes in both cases.
Did they fool you for any second in time, thinking that Greg Kinnear might have been an alien at the end?
No, but I was thinking that a traveler might have actually been a government agent, like he was mentioning for a while. Like when he first
Mhm.
said he was like CIA or whatever, I was like, yeah, okay, he's CIA. So I did fall for that for a while,
Mhm.
but I never really had the idea that Kinnear
No,
was
I
an
thought they were going to do the
alien.
fake out, the double fake out, where especially when she had Kinnear, like when she caught on to him, I thought he was going to be like, "Okay, you got me." This
Yeah,
that,
but
and then he was going to turn into something.
as he's drunk driving, he is doing it too sweaty and manically to make me, I feel like someone in league with a traveler would be like a lot more chill. They'd be like stone cold driving, right? Even if
Yeah,
they were technically wasted. Uh,
and he was driving on black ice and all that stuff. Dangerous drive.
yeah, sorry, I've had bad experiences with black ice.
Mhm.
Uh, let's wrap this one up for today then. I guess you're usually here, so I asked for plugs, but your plug is usually here. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm getting ready to start a new podcast that has to do with wrestling, but I don't think it's big enough to be plugged or anything because
Okay.
it's just indie wrestling. It's not like I'm not covering WWE or AEW or anything like that.
Hey, throw out a name. People might dig that. So I remember when I was a kid, like I like to find the weird UHF like local wrestling, and then Andrew, who's on this podcast a lot, when we were kids, we'd turn off the sound and then just start like ad-libbing like what the wrestlers were saying.
Well, here's my thing. Like what I'm going to watch when we get done with this podcast. I am watching a deathmatch tournament tonight.
Ooh,
And
deathmatch.
basically what that is glass tubes, glass sheets, doors, thumbtacks, gusset blades, razor blades, all kinds of crazy stuff.
It's a rough life to be a wrestler. Like you could call it acting, but you're dealing with that stuff.
Yeah. No, the
Um,
death matches get pretty crazy. Um, I don't like when they bust out the skewers and stuff. That's kind of, but no,
over on.
I'll when the next time I come on, it should be off the ground. So I'll wait till next time to promote it.
Okay.
I haven't even
Uh,
filmed the first episode yet.
oh, okay. As for us, you find our stuff over at Time Enough Podcast as part of the Podcastius thing over at Patreon. Of course, we are currently doing all the Fast and Furious films on the Films and Filth feed. We've renamed the podcast Fast Films and Furious Filth for the time being. Some trippy stuff, Twilight Zone kind of trippy. Go to podcast 1999. We're doing the animated Planet of the Apes. We did all the 70s live action ones. We did Space 1999. So dig that stuff. We welcome our new
And you
insect
still got
overlords.
Mark doing, or sorry, not Mark. You still got Luke doing the monster.
The
What's that
Monster
one?
Mash.
Yeah, the Monster
Monster
Mash
Mash.
and
There is no the, it's just
the
Monster Mash.
Pokemon. The
Right on. He loves Pokemon. Luke
Pokemon
loves
updates.
Pokemon. There we go.
I mean, it's because of him that I found like because I grew up when there was just 150 Pokemon or whatever. So it's because of him and his show that I learned about way more Pokemon than I ever thought I would ever knew existed.
Yeah, see, I got caught last week. I think it was a high school class, and I was like, I need characters to do our grammar. They gave me all Pokemon. I was like, ah, Luke needs to be teaching this class, not me. Protect
So
your local Pokemon.
I like that you guys kind of pivoted to the Fast and the Furious. So the because I already listened to the first one that you guys did. So this doesn't have anything to do with films and filth, right? It's just they're not ranked. You're just taking this little pivot. Like these aren't on the list. You're just like doing a little pivot.
Yeah.
But was the first one actually on the list?
No, none of them are on the list.
Oh, okay.
They're listless.
Man, and that was surprising to know too when Luke was like, "Yeah, I was a fan of these movies." Like, I didn't
Uh,
picture being Luke being a fan of those movies.
sorry, I'm gonna hit the record real quick.